I have 3 streams to YouTube going. So hopefully this goes up. Hey, looks like we're on. Okay, guys, for everybody on YouTube who missed the intro, we had some technical difficulties. You are listening to Trucker Talk Live, and we have an exciting show tonight. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's so exciting. We are doing a giveaway. For one, we are going to be giving away a headset, a noise canceling headset by Stellar Electronic. We're giving one away absolutely free. I'll tell you the details in a minute. Jake, Echo. I had so many comments the other day. We were doing a live stream on the other platform, and we had the consistent theme seems to be, this woman sounds like she's drunk. What is wrong with her? It is the microphone. It is Jake. Jake has got me drunk on air because I am getting this weird feedback thing, and it sounds like I'm talking straight, but I'm really slurring my words. So if that is what you're hearing, that is what is going on. Jake is being unruly. Anyway, so the second reason tonight is very exciting is because we're going to take callers. This is going to be the very first time on American Truckers that we have taken callers. I am so excited. We are going to hear from you guys. I've been hearing from you guys in the comments for years, and you guys have been saying, we need some way to like call in or do something. Tonight is it, and I'm super excited. Now for the giveaway, before we start the go to the callers, here is, let's see if I can hit the right thing here. There we go. Get the music going. I love this music. 60 hours of talk time, 900 plus hours of standby time. This is Pluto and the Duo by Stellar Electronic. And Stellar, oh, I forgot about that feature. I love that it has a replaceable ear pad. It's great. I have one myself. I love this headset. Stellar Electronic has been so generous to do a giveaway, cooperate with us for a giveaway. We're gonna give away one of these headsets and the Duo to somebody over the next week. This is gonna be very exciting. I just love that music. Okay, let's cue over and go back to the camera. Face cam, where are you at? There we go. There we go. Okay. So for the contact, for the details of the contest. So all you guys need to do, if you're watching on American Truckers right now, you need to get your booties over to Facebook. Get over to Brittney in Pink or American Truckers on Facebook. And here's why. Because anybody who shares this live stream from Brittney in Pink on Facebook or from American Truckers on Facebook, while we're still live, you're going to be entered for a chance to win this headset at the end of the week. I am so excited. The only thing is you have to make sure when you share this on social media that your privacy settings are set to public. Otherwise, I cannot see who out there has shared this. So how it's going to work is your name will be entered into, hopefully we'll get one of those big digital spin wheel things. I'm working on that. And next week, next Sunday night at 7 p.m. when we go live, I am going to spin the wheel and it's going to land on one of those names. Somebody's going to get a headset and it's going to be very exciting. This thing is awesome. I absolutely love it. So last minute rules. You must share during the live stream. Make sure when you share, everything's set to public. First place winner will win a free Pluto Plus Duo. And the second place winner will spin it 2 times. The second place winner will get a 25% off discount code. The first place winner, it's completely free. The only rule is you can't be a first and second place winner. So those are the rules. On to the show. So tonight, and I'm very excited. Let me get these rules up on the screen here, or the contest. There we go. See, we have a ticker now. And let's see. Let me go ahead and get the number up for you guys because we're getting ready to take callers here in a minute. Let's see. Ticker text. There we go. We have our own phone number now. If I make sure the extensions are staged and ready. And then we'll go on to the topic of tonight, which is, of course, what's going on in the trucking industry as a whole with all of these protests. Okay, enable call queuing. I'm gonna wear all these hats, like sound person, digital, something or other. Moderator. No, we have a lot of moderators. We're good there. Okay, let's enable this thing. There we go. Let me make sure all of our call software is up and ready to go. Okay, so tonight I want to hear from you. I want to talk about what's going on in the industry as far as freight rates, as far as the protests. And I have two key questions for you guys tonight that I want to try to get answered. And one is when it comes to the protest, because we've seen there's civil disobedience in the right setting, protest, etc., can be very effective. Everybody knows this. They can be game changers in history. The problem is if a protest lacks focus, nothing's going to get done. All the protests that have been successful to change have been ones that are focused on how to fix a problem. So my question to you tonight, which is, whose attention are you trying to get specifically? If you're protesting, if you're shutting down, if you're not moving that truck, whose attention are you trying to get? That's number one. Number two, what specifically do you want them to change? And I mean, it's in laws. What law do you want them to change? Because if we don't even know how to fix this, what are we doing? What are we doing? I totally agree on the whole raise awareness thing. As a matter of fact, right now we have our first caller. Let's just bring him on. Let's ask him the question. Here, let me try to call back. I was doing this last night on our other show. I kept hanging up on everybody. It was terrible. There we go. Let's just call him back.
Seven 0 1 8 0 9 6.
All right. For some reason, we're not connecting. Maybe it's because we're on so many platforms tonight. We were on several last night. We went for 2 hours taking calls. It was awesome. And little to almost no glitches. So let's try this again. If I hung up on you, just try to call back. I didn't mean to, I promise. I blame Jake. It is Jake, my microphone. It is the pantless microphone. Let me refresh this thing. By the way, guys, if you do call in, we've got a hosting software for the calls. So your call will be queued. You'll hear hold music, echo. You'll hear hold music and I'll be able to see how many callers are standing by listening to the hold music, and then I'll cue you onto the show. So that's kind of how it works. So don't be afraid to call in and get on queue, and then we'll take one at a time. and kind of go from there. But as I was saying, on the protests, if we're going to get anything done, like, I see the importance of, okay, like President Trump. Apparently, from what I'm hearing from other YouTubers, this protest in Washington, D.C. did get the attention of the president. And within a very short time, meetings were being scheduled with the leader of these trucking groups. And so I also want to ask, do you guys think that anything's going to get done? And I think it's a great thing that we have raised awareness with this whole thing, but is it going to fix anything? Okay, let's try to take this caller one more time. And it is hanging up. Why are we hanging up here? Do we have a setting off? Let's see. For some reason, it's like it's blocking the call automatically. Let's try to refresh this. Okay, I'm going to try to call them back real fast, see if we get an answer. That is so weird. It's like it's just ringing but not connecting. Is there anybody on the other line of that call? Okay, now at least we get a ring.
This is a call for Trucker Talk Live from...
What is going on? My screen is literally moving like by itself as if somebody's operating the cursor and it's disconnecting. Like, this is so weird. This is so weird. Let's try it again.
This is a call for Trucker Talk Live from...
Ronnie Hooper.
To accept...
We just lost it again. What is going on? This is so weird. We have several calls coming through right now, guys, but for some reason, this is not connecting.
This is a call for Trucker Talk Live from...
Ronnie Hooper.
To accept this call...
Ronnie, we are trying to connect you right now. This is so weird. Let me try to call Ronnie back. See if Ronnie will answer.
I'm sorry, but the person...
This is odd. It just keeps ringing. Nothing's happening.
This is a call for Trucker Talk Live from...
Ronnie Hooper.
Oh my god, this is really weird. Like, my buttons are pressing by themselves right now. It's as if somebody's hacking the computer, which wouldn't surprise me after what happened this week. I talked about it on our other platform. I don't want to get into it here, but we had some crazy things happen. Let me try this again. I may just have to like re-queue this up. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, trying to answer. And disconnected. This is so odd. I'm just gonna try to call back callers. They're probably wondering who the hell's calling.
Hello?
Ronnie?
Yes.
Hey, it's Britt. You're on with Trucker Talk Live.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, just doing good up here in Reno, Nevada.
Reno. I love the Southwest.
You mean Northwest?
Nevada?
Nevada. I'm over here by Donner Pass.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
Yeah, to your thing about things changing, policies and all that, I know I'm going to offend a lot of people by saying this, but frankly, it's true.
Mhm.
If we get a lot of them career politicians out of there and get some people in there that'll catch up with the modern times and actually listen to the people, then we stand a lot better chance at things getting done.
Mhm.
And I know you've been there yourself more than likely. One thing that a lot of drivers don't like is two things. For example, California, their 55-mile-an-hour law. The
Mhm.
second thing is their trucks restricted to the two right lanes.
Mhm.
That's two things, for example. But all these protests and everything, I was just listening to President Trump on Fox News XM 114,
Mhm.
and he is listening. He is. And he is taking notes and he is addressing things.
Mhm.
And he is paying special careful to the trucking industry because he understands we carry this country on our shoulders.
Absolutely.
But but as far as changing things, we need to get them career politicians out of there.
Mhm.
And the biggest ones that I'm talking about are those that have the symbol of a donkey. And I know I've got some people laughing out there.
Well, here's our problem. We've got two major political parties in the United States. And without getting all political, all I have to say is look at what we're dealing with. We have one with the symbol of an ass, and we have the other with a elephant, which has like the brain the size of what, a peanut? So this is what we're working with here, peoples. It needs to be about America. We need to get past this partisan crap that goes on.
Exactly right. Right there. That's the number one problem right there.
Exactly. And at
They,
least, love or hate the guy, at least President Trump, one thing I'll give him credit on is he does watch the news. He bounces around, he listens to the stories, he's hearing what people are saying. And like I said, regardless of anything else, at least somebody's listening. But I get so frustrated with, hey, it seems like we're never going to get anything done. Like it's always party politics.
yeah, some people need to understand about President Trump. He is a self made millionaire. He was just like us in his days, but he worked himself up into the millions and billions. So he understands what the blue collar class is like, and he has shown me for what these past 3, 4 years, he genuinely cares about the blue collar.
Hmm.
And as far as us truckers, we need someone like that.
Yeah, we definitely
And
do. We need Washington needs to be full of people that are paying attention to all of us and focused on America. I'm so sick. Like every time you watch a law being a bill being debated, it always goes back to, well, the rest of the party's not going to vote for this, so I'm not either. It's like it's just one team playing against the other, and that's not how it was supposed to be.
see, what I noticed is like this stimulus thing we just got. There were certain people that wasn't even going to let it go through if they didn't get something that they wanted that was not necessary to the American person, keeping a
Hmm.
roof over their head, food on the table, and things like that. It was just for junk that they want it for. instead of for the American person. And
Absolutely.
it's that kind of stuff that's wasteful, and that's why we need new people in there.
Hmm. Definitely,
That,
I
that's just
agree completely. I think the whole PPP program was its foundation was screwed up from the start. It really was. Because when I went to check into it personally, as a driver, as a lease purchase driver, I'm in business for myself. And they said, well, we're going to go off of your profit and loss statement. So if I maximized my deductions on this thing, then I'm getting next to nothing back. Well, as I understand it, these businesses, I mean, this is a write off having payroll, having employees. So if you're left with next to nothing after deductions, if that's true, the thing was screwed up to begin with. How the hell are you going to get your payroll covered?
well, they say that there's a 8 week usage and forgivable or something like that. I forgot the exact details,
Mm-hmm. 8 weeks.
but a a small business like who I work for, if they use it like it's designed and meant to be, then after whatever time it is, it's forgivable and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot the exact details of it, like I said, but it's something that's needed, no matter how you look at it.
Definitely.
And
Definitely. But it needs to go to the right people.
yes, like with me, I'm the only one working in my household. I have a 17-year-old stepdaughter. I have a fixing to be 13-year-old stepson who's got special needs, CDKL5. Google it and you'll figure it out. And mom is on medical leave right now. Anyways, I'm the only one working right now, and that PPP is helping keep the bills going. It's
Mm-hmm.
helping keep food on the table. Yes, there's other things going on behind the scenes, but that PPP really helped.
That's
And
awesome. For those that can
I
get it, what did it run out in like 4 days or something? It was crazy.
as far as the PPP, I'm not sure. I did get the stimulus, and I heard that stimulus ran out. I think the next day or something like that. I'm
Oh
not
my
exactly
God.
sure,
It's
but
crazy.
I know it was within that 4 days.
Well, I know a lot of people have been asking questions like, where is the money? Like, it never showed up. Like, what's going on?
The biggest thing they needed to do was file their taxes and make sure that their bank account and routing number and all that was on that.
Hmm.
And as soon as they announced that they were on the way, I had mine that a week.
Oh, wow.
So where theirs is, I'm not exactly sure, but there are steps they can follow to find out what's going on. Um, I forgot the exact website,
Hmm.
but there are resources out there where they can find out.
Yeah, I know. And some banks are actually listing the information on the bank's like homepage as well. I know. I think Jordan had something pop up on his banking app that was giving him the details on how to make sure it comes through properly.
Um, in fact, IRS.gov, find my stimulus. I think that's what it was.
Hmm.
It's on their official website. But
Okay. Yeah, and I know there's been a lot of scams and things lately. I talked to one tax professional who said, whatever you do, make sure everything's irs.gov. There's too
yeah,
many that try to do slash government or slash, they try to trick you.
yeah. Let me help you out on that one.
Hmm.
To those listening out there, um, listen to their accent. If they've got that thick accent, that's your number one dead giveaway right there. Number two, most important, The IRS will never, ever, ever, ever call you. They will send you a postal mail in the standard mailbox, and if you don't get that mail and they call you, hang it up right there.
Absolutely.
Um, there is this one YouTuber I need to give a plug on this one.
Okay.
He's called a Scammer Payback.
I love the
Um,
name.
yeah, you'll you'll see him doing all sorts of things. He even finds ways to pay them back. Literally, it just varies. And you're right about one thing; it is funny, but it is good.
Hmm.
Um, just I can't stress this enough. If they're saying that they're IRS and they're calling you, hang it up. It's a scam. Number
Definitely.
two,
Hmm.
number two, that accent. They're obviously scamming you. I've I've had a couple try to scam me in the past 3 or 4 weeks. I just play along with them, and then I do something. Let's just say a little on the adult side, in case there's little kids listening,
Hmm.
and then I'd cut them loose.
Hmm. Absolutely.
But
I've got this. I'm gonna have to check out that scammer payback thing because I have this app that will call back. Like if I have telemarketers harassing me, it will answer it for me, play messages back to them as if somebody's answering, waste their time, and then if they keep calling, it will call them back and like harass the hell out of them. It's hilarious.
I've got an app that does that for me. It's called Robo Killer.
That is awesome. Yep, that's what I got. I love it. Robo Killer, you need to sponsor with us. Seriously. Hey, got to get those
But
sponsors right, especially for good products.
oh
But
yeah,
I really appreciate you calling in. Looks like we got some other callers that are waiting in queue
oh
as well. But I am so glad to hear from you.
all righty. And just a little quick shout out. I'm the
Hmm.
one with Branham. I'm the one with Robert Branham Trucking out of Amarillo, Texas.
Awesome. Do you enjoy that company?
They have been beyond great to me. I just they've done things for me that I couldn't ever ask for out of a company,
Hmm.
and I'm beyond blessed.
That is awesome. Yeah, I'm always happy to shout out a company that treats their drivers well. That's rare.
To say the least, yes. But
Exactly.
I'll go ahead and let you go where others can have a chance.
I am so happy you called in. It was good to talk to you.
All right, you too.
Bye. Yeah, like I said, guys, um, it's hard to find a good company. That's why I love RTI. Like, I brag so much. And I mention other companies because if there's a good company out there, mention it. It's like, let's spread the word. Okay, it hung up on this caller again. Let me try to call them back. Just FYI, guys, click allow mic access. We're going to try this. I may be calling you guys back.
Hello.
Hey, this is Brittany with Trucker Talk Live. My thing hung up on you. So
Hey, Brittany, how you doing?
I'm
Justin
doing
McGee,
good.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Who from Phoenix?
Justin McGee from Phoenix, Arizona.
Justin. Awesome.
Yes,
So what's on
ma'am.
your minds?
So, well, I'm not in the trucking industry, but I'm kind of connected to it. I work for Empire Southwest here in Arizona. We're a Caterpillar dealership, have a truck and trailer division. So, right now with our industry, we rely heavily on the mining part of everything. And it's crazy how the price of copper has dropped down. Our industry, the dealership portion of our industry, is just going to heck in a handbasket, let me tell you. But I just wanted to call you up and tell you guys how much I appreciate everything that you all do to get the groceries, everything to our supermarkets. Because I tell you what, one, essential business, essential workers, you are the front line. And I really do appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much. And I know drivers appreciate that. A lot of drivers feel like they're going to get forgotten about. Like we're going to get forgotten about when this whole thing's over. And that's been one of the things I've been harping on is that America, wake up, think a driver, let them know we're not going to forget you. America would stop if the truckers stopped moving. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah. So,
Absolutely. Well, really appreciate everything you're doing. The content on the channel is great, and just keep up the good work.
awesome. Thank you so much for calling, Justin.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, let's go to the next call. We've got a lot of callers tonight. This is awesome. And that's what I wanted to make the show about. I could have just made it like, hey, look at Brittney, you're live. That's not the point. Like, I'm so excited to connect with you guys. That's what drives my passion, is connecting with people. It's what I'm passionate about, is hearing from you. That's the only way we're going to learn anything in this world. Okay, let's try to take this caller. If it doesn't hang up.
This is a call.
And it hung up. That is so strange. Like, that is so weird. Oh my God. Okay, let me try this back.
This is a call for Trucker Talk Live from
David Morgan.
And it hung up. Why are we hanging up? That is so strange. Do we have a mic permission issue here? Let's see. What's our microphone set on? No? Mic's good.
This is a call for Trucker Talk Live from
David Morgan.
It just hung up again. That is so weird. Okay, I'm going to try to call David back. Let's try to call David. I'm just going to call you guys back once you call.
Maybe I got too many things going on here at my house.
Boop.
I'll have to turn on some internet stuff.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Brittney. You're on Trucker Talk Live. I figured I would
Hi.
call you back because this is hanging up on everyone for some reason. Oh, are you still there? Uh-oh. We lost our audio.
Nope, I'm back.
There we go. Welcome
You
back.
said that you lost me on the other line, but I'm actually still on the other line. I don't want to take up a whole bunch of your time. I just wanted to call in. Hopefully, you get some more viewers on this show. I got an email from the Department of Motor Vehicles in Pennsylvania. They're opening up 4 offices statewide for commercial purposes. So if you need to update your licenses, or if you're applying for a permit to get started, that's available to us now. So I just wanted to get that out there. Hopefully, people that are, waiting with this coronavirus thing, because of the offices being closed down, get to hear this and know that they can go ahead and get started.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know that's been a huge issue, especially around here. I mean, everything's shut down like this. We've never seen anything like this in our world. It's just crazy.
Nope, we haven't. I mean, state offices, I don't know nationwide, but Pennsylvania, state employees have been off with the exception of police, correctional employees, some trucking companies that work with the state, and like the main offices down in Harrisburg. That's about it. Everything else has been closed. People have been staying home, so not a whole lot's been getting done.
So how do you think reopening is going to affect everything? Because I really think that we need to reopen. Like, we need to get the economy going, but at the same time, it's like this thing's still spreading.
Oh, no doubt. We need to open up. I mean, people just, I think, need to realize that, and I hate to say this because I'm not a real big advocate on government, but they're winging it here too. This is the first time this has happened in 100 years, so they're kind of making it up as they go along. And of course, some people aren't going to be happy, and other people are going to defend, their side of the aisle, no matter what. So you got people caught in between. But as they're opening up, like in Pennsylvania, they're doing it in stages where the areas that haven't been the hardest hit, they're going to go to a stage yellow, where there's still like some restrictions, but they're opening up things a little bit more. And then there are other counties in the state that have been hardest hit that are still in the red, so they'll still be shut down. And if the people in those counties and those areas that they are opening up can show that in general people can be trusted to continue with the social distancing and wear a mask if you're going to be around people, and show that you can be trusted to do the right thing no matter what you feel about this virus, whether you think it's fake or not. Maybe we can get things going again. But you got those people that are in fear for their life, and then you got those people that think, damn the consequences, I'm going to go be me. So hopefully they can do it right and show that we as the public can be trusted.
Exactly. Well, that's been the big argument here lately with the protesting and everything else. Is now it becomes an issue of like, should we mandate a shutdown in the future? Obviously it's beneficial, but as America, there's all these issues like, are they taking away our rights, telling us we have to stay home? And yet at the same time, what are the consequences of being out? I will say I've noticed at the stores, some chain retail stores have done very well at keeping everybody distanced. I'm seeing a lot of masks. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, I think let me go back to your other comment about the way people can be trusted, and the way the government's taken our rights away. I've seen a lot of posts, and I don't know if it's true or not, saying that the way they did this was illegal. You can't take our rights without a vote on law, and that these were just orders that governors took. And like I said, they're making it up as they go along, and they're hopefully that they have the best of intentions there, and they're just doing it to for the safety of their people. But you hope that on the same token, they're not doing it because they have this power that they can, because like those other commenters were saying, it's illegal a vote into law. So but commenting on how the stores were doing it, once the stores, I think, sort of got threatened with, you're going to be fined if you don't do it a specific way, and they realized that it was going to cost them money, or at least they were in fear that it might cost them money, they started doing things the right way in my area. But it still comes down to, those store employees that are making minimum wage. Do they want to get in somebody's face and say, hey, you got to put on a mask, hey, you got to stay 6 feet away from somebody, so it still comes down to that employee. And it's, I'd imagine for them, for the pay, it's not worth it to get in somebody's face that might have coronavirus, so.
I know. And even for a lot of police officers, and they make a pretty good wage, but they're weighing the risks. It's like, when do we engage people? Because, how far do we go to enforce this thing? Because we're risking public safety if we get exposed. And a third of our department's gone. How can we respond to anything?
Right. I saw that, you used to be a police officer. I did the training and decided to go the corrections way. So I'm a retired state corrections officer. And I think, in some ways, in those situations, you got to really be careful, because, you still want to go home. But at the same time, even though you didn't really consider this as a possible thing that could happen, it's still sort of something you signed up for. So, I think with the lack of the police being on the news doing the wrong thing, I think that they're doing it right. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it was really good to hear from you. I'm so glad you called in.
thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right. We have some more callers. We're going to keep trying this. Okay, I think this was the last number. For some reason, it's still queuing through. Let's see. Yeah, if it comes down to it, guys, I'm just going to start calling people back. So if you can't get through and it disconnects you or something, if you immediately get a call from an odd number, by the way, this 1-800 number, we have to relay it through some other phone number. So if a different number shows up, that's what's happening. See if it'll take it. Come on, take it. Please take it. Here, I'm going to call back. Allow mic access. Let me try something here. For some reason, it keeps saying mic access issue. It's like it doesn't have permission to connect, and it like cuts it. I don't know if that's a Mac thing. I don't want to blame. I don't want to start blaming things. Get Mac and Jake fighting again.
This is a call for Trucker
You know how that quality was? That quality was bad. I've got a little quality thing that keeps popping up. Let's try this. Whoop. Why is it doing that?
This is a call for Trucker Talk Live from
Jason Bauman.
Okay, I'm gonna try to call Jason back. Let's try this. Yeah, it's like hanging up on everybody. This is crazy. We need a switchboard.
This is a call
officially.
for Trucker Talk Live from
And it hangs up. That is so weird. There's got to be a settings issue here. Please call. Ring through. We've got like all these lines ringing at once and it's not wanting to connect to any. Okay, can you call, please? Ring through. Switchboard. Please. Can you connect? Maybe we need to refresh. I gotta get a new switchboard or something. I need to get Barry over here. He's our tech guy. He's our volunteer tech guy. Yeah, the whole page is like froze. That's, I think, part of our issue. Let me refresh the page. We'll try this again.
This is a call for Trucker Talk Live from
Jason.
And it killed it. Okay, let's try to call back. Call. There we go.
Hey, Brittney.
Hey, Jason, how's it going?
I'm all right. So I see you're just getting things set up. Mac is a little bit different sometimes with technology, but
It sure is.
anyway, so I'm a truck driver. I understand you work in law enforcement. I was on the other side of law enforcement most of my life. About 6 years ago, I woke up and looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, this is not exactly, let me turn my television down, or computer, whatever. Okay, but anyway, so the trucking industry saved my life. And a lot of things in my heart has changed, especially with all of this going on right now. And we all have different opinions, and most of us right now, I think we have mixed opinions. It's
Mm-hmm.
easy to say, well, the government is or isn't doing the right thing, or make it a political issue, Republican or Democrat. But when it comes down to it, I think right now we have just all experienced, everybody, not just in America but around the world, have just experienced something that just blew our minds. And
Absolutely.
I don't, I don't think right now there really is a right answer as far as who's to blame, because I don't think anybody around us is to blame. But we have certainly been strong and stuck together at a distance to make the best out of this. And I've lost two people so far, but
In your family or?
no, just friends.
Mm.
Thank God. I mean, I hate to say that. Thank God that it's not my family. I worry about my son because he's 19 years old, and a lot of young people are like, "Oh, this is BS," and they really don't care much about it. So I
Hmm.
just hope that he stays safe because he doesn't see the danger in it.
And sadly,
So
not a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people do, but there's a sector of the nation that just isn't hasn't taken this thing seriously from the start. And but I think you're right when it comes to people coming together. I was actually surprised we had as many state governors as we did that got on the same page with this thing and took it serious.
yeah, right. And um, it blew my mind also. And I mean, this was like 9/11 again in a way, to
Hmm.
wake up. And I remember all of my family is military, but me and one of my cousins. And so, like, the economy thing, I've heard a lot about that. And I know that when things like this happen, the economy takes a real big hit at first. But in most cases, I hear a lot of politicians talking, and a lot of these so-called specialists or whatever talking about what's going to happen. But I mean, just old Southern fashioned wisdom says that when this is over with, eventually, when people begin to feel comfortable again in America and start spending money, our economy is going to be so much better for a while. Because
Hmm.
once that money starts being spent, the grocery store shelves, the department stores, and all of these places that we're buying things from are going to have to be restocked, and somebody's going to have to go back to the factory to
Hmm.
restock it, and they're going to have to go back to the store. I believe eventually, when it's over with, this is America, and we're strong people. We're not going to
Absolutely.
let this kill us, you know. And like you said about the truck drivers, we're not going to stop rolling. I lose a lot of sleep. I drive hard. I was worried about my job actually because they called me and told me to come 3.5 hours empty back to the yard. And I'm
Oh
like, oh
no.
my God, this is it. This is it.
Hmm.
And then on my way out, I teared up a little bit because I mean, I'm spending my money. I'm making decent money, but my family doesn't right now. And most of them are out of work. So I'm trying to help them the best that I can.
Hmm.
And so as I get back out and start heading toward uh, Lamar's, Iowa, I get a phone call and she's like, Jason, just wanted to inform you that you made driver of the month and
Oh
we're
my
going to do
God.
this and that and all that stuff. And I was like, wow, I'm expecting the worst. And it wasn't like that. And I do not really, to be honest with you, I don't care about my picture being up there or
Hmm.
somebody thanking me and all that stuff. It doesn't matter at all. I was just glad to know that it wasn't my job.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can imagine. Like going from tears of fear to tears of joy.
Yeah, and like I said, it's hard for me to wake up. I just woke up one morning and found out I owed over $6,500 in tickets, and my company pays up to like $1,000. So it's hard to wake up one day and somebody just come to me and said I went from the streets and prisons and jails and institutions to being number one at a multi-million-dollar moving company out of 500 people.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
moved the
That's
only
awesome.
female governor that ever held seat in the state of North Carolina. So
Hmm.
this lady came up to me from the DMV one day and she said, Jason, I don't know whether you realize it or not, but you're number one. And I really didn't. realize that that's the way they looked at me. But she said I sit in estimation so many times on my lunch breaks and stuff, just hanging out with my friends. And I hear these estimators on the phone with the customer making a promise that a moving company can't make. And
Hmm.
they say, well, we're going to move everything in that home and nothing's going to be damaged. We're going to save you money and we're still going to do it a lot faster. We're going to send the best. And when these guys come out there and you see them climb out of the truck and start protecting your property, you're going to realize within about 30 minutes that you made the right choice. And moving is like the second most stressful thing in the world that you can do. The only thing next to it is death in the family.
Hmm.
But this is not something you're going to have to worry about, and you'll see real fast. You can go back to taking care of your business and not worry about your home. But she said when I hear them making them promises that they can't make, when you move everything somebody owns, the chances of breaking something are great. But she said they hold that folder up when they hang up the phone and they call out your name. They say, "Where's David Bauman going to be Friday? I need him on this move." You know, so to
Hmm.
wake up and just like my whole life just changed, and then a few days later I have a driver's license again, and then within a week I have a CDL. I taught the CDL class and I never drove a truck, but the written test and the pre-trip. I worked in automotive for 14 years, but I couldn't drive a car. And some of the guys, when they would send them to me, I would be getting out of work and changing out and whatever, and I had to have somebody else to drive me around, even though I'm the boss because I don't have a license. And then
Hmm.
these guys are coming up to me and they're like, I really don't understand this. I failed the test, so they said that you were that dude, but you don't have a driver's license. How can you help me?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Shut up and listen. If you believe me, But I mean, it was awesome to do that. And then now out here with all this going on, I still have that sense of pride because I know who I am now. I'm not that guy that loved to fight with the law and party and drink and do drugs and all that stuff. I don't miss that for anything, and there's not a day ever that I feel like going back to being who I was.
Hmm.
But truck drivers, there's mixed feelings. Some people say, well, you shouldn't even be able to do what you do. You don't deserve to be able to do what you do, whatever. But most truck drivers are very supportive, and I thank God for the men and women that have been out here on the roads for years that got in the truck with me and taught me what they taught me. I have an excellent. I've been driving 3 years, and that's not long, but I still have an immaculate, excellent, perfect driving record, no tickets, accidents, violations, or anything. And I know that could change at any time out here.
Hmm.
But I mean that's something that I'm very thankful for because without you guys and girls um,
Hmm.
having my back and getting on the radio and flashing me on and communicating with me, and even sometimes people seeing things that I do wrong. Like I was driving to a parking lot too fast about a year ago, and this old man got on radio and started cussing me and threatened to beat me with it, whatever. And I was angry. I didn't say anything back because I knew that I was wrong, and
Hmm.
I knew that he was right. And it really hit me when one of our drivers got hit at a large company parking lot. I'm not going to say their name, but
Hmm.
on the air. But anyway, one of our drivers was 68 years old, and he could have retired, and he wanted to get a few more months in. And he stepped out of his truck to do his paperwork and walked across the parking lot, and local driver hit him. And so after that happened, I just had his dog. He was at a plant, and his dog got sick, so he had to drop it off at the vet, and he had to go back on the road. And I was near there, and so they call and they're like, "Would you please go pick up his poodle and bring it back to the yard on your way to California?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do that." And it was just a few days later that I got a call and he was gone. And
Hmm.
so safety is a big thing. We have to help each other out here. And
We do.
accidents are going to happen, but sticking together is a big thing, and I think most drivers do.
I think they do too. That culture, that trucking family is still there. I still see it, and that's so exciting to see. It motivates me as a driver, knowing that people have my
Yes,
back, I have their back, we're in it together.
yes, yes, definitely. And it is also awesome for me being in this truck to be able to communicate with you guys and girls when there's accidents on the highway. Now I have an opportunity to help law
Hmm.
enforcement,
That
and
is so
I
awesome.
realized that their job is important and the things that they were doing to me were necessary, and I was just so totally wrong. But it's nice now to be able to be that guy that can stand up and say, okay, somebody's hurt up there. You're gonna stop driving through here. We're gonna stop that. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? We will block it off. But I mean, it really is awesome. And you were talking about the masks and stuff earlier. I do not wear mine all the time, but I have a few masks on the truck that I've been given. Like I left one at my girlfriend's house and went on the road, didn't have one, and this medical people gave me two of them. And then the first mask I got was pink,
Oh, was it?
and
Oh my God.
it had beautiful stuff all over it. And the pharmacist, she said, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "I'm a truck driver." She said, "Okay, you get one." And she
That is
said, "The only
awesome.
one that I have left is pink and it's girly." I said, "There's some Ritz dye on the aisle right there." And I got
Hmm.
some black dye and stopped at the truck stop and I put it in a bottle on the way, a Gatorade bottle with some water in it, and dyed the crap out of it. And I wore it for a while. I mean, I don't wear it all the time, and here maybe I should, but I
Hmm.
wear it when I'm in places that are like there are a lot of people,
Hmm.
or I don't know why I feel this way, but like high crime areas, because people that are out on drugs are careless, and if they
That's
had
true.
symptoms, they wouldn't tell anybody. You've dealt with people like that, and it's not that they intend to, but that drug has control of their mind, so they're not as
Hmm.
thoughtful about their health or anybody else's as we are.
That is very true. So, what changed your mindset from going from one side of the law to the other? Like, what was that moment that your thinking shifted? Was it this job opportunity?
Well, I don't normally tell people this because it brings criticism, especially after my past. But
Hmm.
I'm an ordained minister,
Oh, that's awesome.
and and I felt guilty, and I watched a video of a pastor that he was in South Carolina at the time, and his son was on drugs, and he told the story. He got on drugs in school at like 12 or 13 years old, and he asked his son's permission to tell that story. His son had went to a 1 year rehab in Tennessee, and when he dropped him off, he cried and he talked. He was talking to the young people, and there's like this huge church full of young people, and he's been real and saying exactly what's on his mind. Things that a lot of times you don't hear a pastor say in front of kids, but he's telling the truth.
Hmm.
And he cries when he does it, and he tells them, he says, "I stand up in church, and you hear me so much that you get numb to my voice, but now I'm not talking to you as pastor. I'm talking to you as daddy. I'm going to be daddy for a little bit." And he
Hmm.
told the story of about how his son lived and how it affected his family and all of that. And he kept talking about how there is hope and the choices that we make. And so I listened to it a couple times, and I woke up in a hotel room with a bunch of girls, and I wasn't interested in the girls at all. And that wasn't me. I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't concerned about any of them. It
Hmm.
was that drug. I was there for like probably 24 hours, and the drug was the only thing that I wanted to touch.
Oh, wow.
And so I got up and I felt awful, and I had track marks all over me. I looked like I was so skinny, and people had been telling me this, and I'd always got a lot of attention. I was always a popular guy in school and good looking, and got bragged about my eyes and whatever. So
Hmm.
I go to the mirror in that raggedy $25 hotel, and I look at myself in the mirror, and I turned around and I looked at the room, and I looked back at the mirror, and I said, "God, I don't know how things are going to change, but I know you do. I'm going to do my part, and you do yours." And I left home, and I think that's what helped me the most. But I went to a rehabilitation center first. I went to detox, and the doctor who had been writing me medications that I wanted for so long, he was used to me coming there to detox, and asking for narcotics and whatever would make me feel good to get me onto the next level, whatever. And so he's got his clipboard in his hand. He said, "So what do you want?" And he's thinking I'm going to ask for this medication. I'm not going to say it on the air, or that medication or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I said I want help. And he put the clipboard down and turned around, and he'd probably seen me 40 times. He said, "What?" I said, "I want help." And he said, "What were you thinking?" I said, "Like maybe 90 days."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "That won't work." I said, "Why not?" He said, "You've gone too far backwards." And he said, "How about 2 years?" I said, "Oh, no. 2 years without like women or my family.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, no, like no, no, I can't do that." And he said, He said, "It's your life. Is it worth 2 years?"
Mm-hmm.
So I said, all right, gas up the bus." So they got me a bus down there, and I remember when I got there the first day, this Marine came up to me, and I'll try to be easy about how I say what he said to me. It wasn't 12 steps and all this stuff, and like a lot of people, and he told me this too. He didn't pat me on the back or anything. He came up to me and he said, "You know what? Your life is up." I said, "Enlighten me." He said, "Because of the choices that you made." He said, "I'm not going to hug you. I'm not going to shake your hand and pat you on the back and tell you everything's going to be all right, because it's not. And the reason your life is up is because of you, nobody else." And he said it really harshly and added a lot of language to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated him for that at that moment. I could tell he was a Marine because I grew up around Marines, and I could see that in him and hear it in his voice. And I walked away. I went to my bed that night, and I didn't sleep all night long. And I remember staring up at the ceiling and thinking about how I wanted to just walk out. A lot of people were
Mm-hmm.
there because they were ordered to be, and I made the choice to go, and I could have walked out at any time. And he told me that. He said, "There's no gate here. You can walk out of here anytime you want to. It doesn't matter to me. That's up to you." And the next day, he told his story, and I cried like a little girl because it was my life. And
Right.
so, long story short, I stayed, and the things that they were teaching us, I saw the results. I saw people, men and women both, who had been there, coming back to visit and still a part of the program after they left. They're buying homes, and they own businesses, and they're doing awesome things. They're getting married, and you would never look at them and think that they ever were who they were. And a lot of people now that have known me for so many years, when they see me on Facebook or pictures of me in my family's home or whatever, they just can't believe it. And then they tell them what I'm doing for a living and how I'm doing. It's just like, wow, that can't be possible.
That is so cool.
I wasn't always an awful person. I just,
Mm-hmm.
I got to a point in my life to where I just felt like I wasn't raised right. My mom and dad were on drugs. They were alcoholics, and they didn't care about things, credit or my dad was a hard worker, but it was all about getting money to get high again.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't about taking care of the family and doing the right thing. So growing up, I didn't have that responsibility there. As I went to college twice and dropped out both times through government grants, and my dad was like, his attitude was like, "Be real, get a
Mm-hmm.
job." You know, he couldn't see anybody graduating from college. It just wasn't. It didn't make sense to him. I was wasting time, and so I remember too also telling psychiatrist and one of my preacher friends that I wanted to leave home, and I thought that would help me a lot. And both of them were like, "No, that's not a good idea. That's not going to fix things." And of course, a lot of my friends and family didn't want me to leave either. But I am so thankful that I did, because when I got out away from everybody long enough to clear my mind up, and then I got out and worked around professional people, and uh, now I don't have to worry about something to eat or
Mm-hmm.
being kicked out or I don't have to worry about the cops knocking on the door of this truck and telling me that I need to put my hands behind my back, or a drug
Mhm.
test doesn't bother me. It tickles me to death when somebody wants a drug test now.
That's awesome.
so, so
Oh my god.
yeah, the roads and you folks have really made a lot of difference in my life, and I appreciate you now and I'll always. I pray for you. I think about you. So, sometimes I don't know why since this happened. I never was. I was pretty hardcore, but ever since I've been out here on the road, and I think about some of the things like when Donald Trump had the little thing where he had the trucks up in front of the White House,
Mhm.
uh, and then this nurse. This really got to me. This nurse pulls up next to me, and I just got my truck clean and just got on the road, and I pull up to the stoplight, and she's got her dog with her, and the dog's just so happy. You could see that dog is just so excited. And I looked down and I started laughing at the dog, and she rolled down the window and she said, "Thank you." I said, "No, thank you."
Mhm.
And when she pulled off, that brought me to tears. So I'm a
Wow.
man, but now I have a different heart in it, and I
Mhm.
know some of my friends would say you wuss, but I'll tear up easy now.
But your life has changed. And
Yes, definitely.
that's more powerful than going, "Oh, I didn't shed a tear, or I didn't cry," or that shows strength.
Yeah, and this is a job, and everyone listening right now, you know this. This is a job where we're on the front lines, and you're right. We do need to be thought about before, during, and after this, because if you've ever been in a truck over the road and you've had to run, and you don't have the choice to just say, okay, I'm going to sit here and relax another 30 minutes because I didn't sleep well last night, and
Mhm.
you're hungry and you can't stop right now because you got to get this load delivered. There's so many things that we do that nobody sees, and not too many jobs around the country uh, are like that. I mean, everybody works hard, and I appreciate their work. I'm not saying we work harder than anybody else. I'm just saying we sacrifice a lot, just like they do. Also,
Mhm.
we sacrifice time with our family, and the places we want to be. I just told my son today. I said it's awesome being out here and being able to see everything, but I really never have taken the time in 3 years to stop at the beach and say, you know what? Instead of delivering here, I'm gonna park the truck and walk around the beach. And some people do that, but I have
Mhm.
never done that, and I am gonna have to. And I've been told this a few times. I've ran so hard. I remember when I first, probably 6 months, I went with no home time or anything, and the guy that was with me, I was team driving, which I won't do anymore. But anyway, the guy was training me, and he'd been over the road like 25 years. And so he goes home, and when he gets the stuff out of the truck, he's like, "Are you not going home?" I said, "No, I'm gonna run local until you get back." He said, "Dude, let me tell you something." He said, "If you don't get out of this truck every once in a while, it's gonna drive you crazy." And it
Mhm.
might not right now, but he said eventually, later on down the road, there's gonna be a time in your career that you're gonna remember that fat man. Telling you that, and God is he so right.
Absolutely. Yeah, I did the same thing. I was out for like 3 months, 3 or 4 months one time when I first started in truck driving, and I was all gung ho. And you have to learn to step away and refresh and get refocused and refired up.
Yes, you do. And I'll tell you another thing. I used to be violent and want to think that I was cool if I fought and all that, which is, it's crazy. But now, being on the road, I have learned how to deal with stress so well. When I first got out here, I would be like, I would cuss them inside the truck and pretend they were listening to me, and I
Mhm.
would really sometimes just hope that they stopped at this pilot and peeled up in the front while I was in the back and let me go up there and tell them what I thought. But after a few years of this now, I kind of laugh sometimes when I get angry at them. I kind of just laugh and shake my head and think about it, and I might talk about it to somebody on the phone later or whatever. But it's
Mhm.
really helped me to bite my tongue and learn to keep my mouth shut because my dad told me, he said, son, you can't change the world just because people are wrong. I mean, you can barely control your own life,
Right.
and this is true. So it's helped me a lot to maintain my mentality and be professional even when I don't want to be.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Oh my God. I am so glad you called in and shared your story. It's stories like that that get other people thinking, just like that whole thing that you went through that woke you up and you realize
Yeah,
it shifted your thinking. Like the smallest thing can influence so many other people. It's amazing.
well, after a while, I become my in a lot of people's lives the hero, and it really touches my heart when somebody in my family or in the old clique, as I thought of it, when I hear somebody say, "Well, so and so just went to get treatment and they've been gone for a year. They heard your story, and you know, the guys, I did get the opportunity. A lot of people. I have $25,000. I hit a truck, state truck in the back. I was on life support.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the the cop and EMTs had to do CPR. They broke my chest up.
Oh my
I was
God.
dead on arrival, and they put me on life support. And the doctor said that I was not going to make it, and if I did, that I would be brain dead. He said that I was dead too long, that my
Mm-hmm.
brain wouldn't be able to. So they were trying to get my family to pull a plug, and my dad said no, no. So they were going to try to go to a judge and get the judge to override the decision. And I
Oh
woke
wow.
up on life support. And after that was over with, you would think that that would wake me up, but it didn't have any effect on me. I just got better and went right back to doing the same thing that I was doing. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things, and we could sit on the air for 24 hours talking about these things, but there's a lot of things in my life that have happened that are miracles.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you believe it or not, I really don't have much of a choice but to believe that God had His hand on my life and He had a plan, and I'm glad He did because life is so great. Even with all of this going on right now, I'm scared too, but I am so happy. I mean, I get stressed out and I think about this and I think about that and what if and all that. But sometimes you know how it is. You get out and it's beautiful when it's been raining and snowing and ice so much, and all of a sudden it's beautiful. And you look at nature when you're going down the road and you think about how great things are. I mean, when I look back on my life, and I don't do that much, I try not to ever look back, but I
Mm-hmm.
can't help it when I go to some of these places and I see people out begging, and I know what they're doing, and I know why they're doing it. And when people come up to me asking me for money and they lie to me, and a lot of the times I'll give them money anyway, but
Mm-hmm.
I I wasn't in the same shape that a lot of these people were in. I didn't like go out and beg and stuff like that, which doesn't make me any different. But I recognize real quick when they're trying to feed me a line to get money,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the times I'll tell them, just I'll hand them a money and say cut it, and they know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
But it does remind me, um, and when I first got out here, I did feel like that was a threat, like if I got around the wrong people, and that's the reason I stopped doing team driving. I'm not gonna name the company, but I worked for a company that was like really turned up, and I didn't know too many people there that really I felt like should have been on the road. And I don't like saying that, but it's the truth. So
Mm-hmm.
I got away from there, but I'm glad to be by myself. I have internet in my truck, high speed broadband. I built gaming systems. My dad was very intelligent.
Oh my
I
God,
worked on
that's awesome.
computers, but so
You
that's
need to
in my computer.
you need
Go
to
ahead.
get with Jordan.
Hmm.
My boyfriend, he has Skull Hunter games on YouTube and he just
I
built
see
his
him.
first
I,
gaming console.
I see him in the background,
Yes.
and
He
I hear
loves
the
games.
things he says. He is so cool. He is
He
so
is.
cool.
Oh my God, I
He
love him.
is. Yeah, I do too, but don't tell him. No. But yeah, it's awesome. That's what I do. So like, I get a bunch of junk sent to the yard, and the shop gets it for me, and I have boxes. I think I have more mail. It's like Christmas every time I get back to Lamar's. I get out of the truck and go in there. They're like taking care of business, working on trucks, and I pick up all that stuff. And people don't. At first, they were like, "Man, you got a lot of mail. Man, you got a lot of mail." Now they don't even pay me attention. I have
Mhm.
mail inside the offices. My dispatcher has all the little things in the U.S. Postal Service, and they got all the FedEx stuff down there. So, like, I got the motherboard and the RAM and the solid state disk and the cases and all of that. And just like when I get on a 34-hour reset, I tear it out and start putting it together.
That's so
And
cool.
sometimes I don't even need these things. I'll just like give them away
Mhm.
or whatever. But yeah, that's what I do in my spare time, and it keeps my mind like right now. I have it. It's a gaming monitor and gaming system, and in the high speed, it's like really nice. It's not like all wires everywhere. It's professionally installed by me. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
Mhm.
so like I got internet. I watch Sling TV. I watch you, and like when people send me things on the phone, sometimes I don't feel like watching it because I'm stressed out driving or I don't want to watch
Mhm.
what they want me to watch. But like right now, I have a few extra hours, so I'll sit here and click through on my computer and watch whatever they wanted me to and see what I think about it and tell them blah blah blah.
Mhm.
But I love it. This is my home. I'm buying a home with cash. I'm not right now. My credit was really bad, and it's still bad right now. But I have a lawyer in Salt Lake City, Utah, working every so often on it, and I'm paying them like $90 a month. But
Mhm.
there's thousands and thousands of dollars worth of debt being removed, and they're making
Wow.
agreements and stuff like that. So I figure within about 6 more months, my credit score should be about like 700 and something.
That's
And
awesome.
I mean I have like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of back.
Mhm.
But everything is so much better thanks to the trucking industry. We do make decent. However, I learned when I got out here that it's really not real good money when you look at the sacrifice that we make, and that's another thing I think when people find out what I'm making that I know that I'm willing to tell. I think they appreciate the amount, but they can't possibly, without being on the road, appreciate the stress and things that we deal with to get it done. You have to be,
Mhm.
even if you work for a company out here, you have to be running a business. You have to be working in the office and driving the truck at the same time, and doing
Mhm.
all of these things without touching anything, just like in your mind processing how far can I drive now? Should I drive like another hour and then stop for my 30?
Mhm.
Should I go all the way there right now? Um,
You're
how,
anticipating
what,
cities, time of day, traffic, construction.
yeah, yeah. And then the people that jump in front of you and they have no clue. They don't think they're hurting anybody, but they jump in front of you. You're going down the hill at 75 miles per hour,
Mhm.
and the Jake brake is wah, 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 you're already trying to slow down, and they just like jump in front of you and then slow down 5 miles per hour.
Mhm. Yep.
But that's life.
It is.
But all
It
right,
is.
Brittany. Tell everybody I said hi. I'm gonna
I
wrap
definitely
up
will.
here and find me a show to watch on Sling. Be safe out there. Everybody that's listening, be safe out there. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. My uncle Ronald was a Marine, and he used to say that. He called the cops one time, and I know I'm going to go chase a rabbit. He
Mhm.
called the cops on me one time because we left the bar and I was drinking and driving, and I drove him home too. But he was concerned about the way that I was driving,
Mhm.
and so he called the cops on me, and I'm glad that he did. And he took my keys from me, and I was a grown man, but he was my uncle, so I wasn't going to argue with him. Plus, he
Mhm.
would have whipped my butt. Anyway, so the woman comes up, and when she backs up to get me, she drove over a sign that was like a 4x4 post that was inside the concrete and the asphalt, and it says church parking because he lived at a parsonage, which I know that was bad, but
Mhm.
anyway, so she snaps the sign, and the rear end of a rear-wheel drive cruiser is up in the air now, and the back wheels won't make contact.
Oh my
So
God.
she said, "Oh my God, you're drinking at the parsonage." she said the preacher is going to hear about this.
Mhm.
And my Uncle Ronald, he said, well, he's also going to hear about that sign you just tore down. He said, I just called you to be my nephew's designated driver, and you can't even get out of the parking lot. And he drove down here drunk, just perfectly fine. But anyway, I wasn't perfectly fine. But he used to say that a lot, and he said it then. When he
Mhm.
took my keys and called the cops, he looked at me and he said, I love you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Well, thank you so
All right.
much for calling in and sharing your story.
All right. Y'all take care. I love you. God bless you. Be safe.
All right. Much love to you too. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Gotta turn around. I think I was crying. My nose is running. Let's go to another caller. If we can connect, we'll see. Can we connect? Connecting, disconnect. Why are we disconnecting? This is crazy. This is crazy. No, I thank you, Jason, so much for calling in. That was such a good story. That's why I left the caller on the line so long. Like that's an amazing story. It's gonna for years be on YouTube to help inspire others, and that means everything to me. That's why I'm here. I have a whole wall of people who have been inspired by the videos that I put out, and that's what I want. That's what I want. I want to see others do great things and their lives change. Let me try to answer again.
This is a call.
Connecting. Let's try to call him back. Ring through. I don't know why my nose is running so much. Okay, let's try this refresh thing. Jake, echo. I gotta fix my echo. Okay, refreshing the page, and we will try to call back the caller that we just missed. Okay, let's try this again. Calling. Maybe. Here we go. Hey, you're on air live. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you're real quiet in the background. Are you on speakerphone or?
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I can hear you. I just got to change headphones.
There we go. You're loud and clear now.
There we go.
Awesome.
Hey, Miss Brittney, this is your amazing Barry.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do. Barry is awesome.
For some reason, my one earpiece that I have does not like to work with my cell phone when I'm getting phone calls.
Did we lose you? Barry, are you there? I think we lost Barry. Barry disappeared. Barry, by the way, is one of our tech people. We've just been having a time tonight. It was probably my call dashboard that cut him off. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see if we can get Barry. Can we get Barry? We will try this. See, we don't quit. We figure things out.
Yes, Brittney, you there?
Hey, I think my program may have hung up on you.
Yeah, it did. I don't know what's going on, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was sitting there on hold now about 6 times. When everybody kept getting hung up, I would call in and see what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the system's working is after 12 minutes, it's automatically hanging up on everybody.
Okay, so they've got about 12 minutes of hold time before they get cut off.
We get 12 minutes of hold time, and then it's telling us to try and leave a message.
Okay, got you.
And I'm not sure what software it is because it sounds like it don't really want to work.
It may be a settings issue as well. Like it's only queuing the calls for so long, and then it just sends them on.
That's also Yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering, because I know, like last night we had the little issue where if there wasn't anybody available to answer the line, it would automatically tell us to leave a message and or call back, and it would hang up on us. Where this one, it gives us the 12 minutes, and then after 12 minutes, it tells you to leave a message and hangs up.
That's so weird. Well, maybe we can start telling people to leave a message to call them back. Leave a message for the air, and we'll call you back.
And that kicks it off into a voicemail folder. So if you have that set up, hopefully, you'd be able to go in and see who called you and be able to get their messages and call back.
Yeah, let's take a look here. I should actually have a voicemail folder. Okay, I see a whole bunch of voicemails, but looks like most of them are blank. Like it's a voice to text thing, so I can kind of see a preview of what somebody said, and it's just like the automated thing. So
yeah, because like the system will tell you like you've reached the on air with Brittney Show or American Truckers, depending on which one we are on, and it says leave a message for the personal assistant, and we'll get back to you, and then it beeps or hangs up. Or otherwise, it will let us get the 12-minute. It'll tell us give our names that they know who's calling, and then it'll give you the fun music to listen to, and it goes from there.
We need some custom music too.
Sometimes I fall asleep to that music.
I know. It's probably what's happening. My callers are falling asleep due to the hold music.
We have no clue, because I mean there's times, like numerous times, where I'd be on there and I know there's people in front of you, and you could hear it coming through on your end. And I mean, right now I've been bouncing back and forth between YouTube and the American Truckers page, which right now on the American Truckers page is just myself and a couple others. Over here, we don't have very many people in this feed on the Facebook page. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I do know a lot of phone service companies are putting out information now saying that a lot of their servers are down, and a lot of your companies now, your phone is not separate anymore. Like back in the days, you used to have to pay a separate bill for phone, which you still do today, but it's actually now connected into your Wi-Fi router if you don't have a personal cell phone. So a lot of the coverage areas, like I use Xfinity, which happens to be all over the place, and over half of their customers have no phone service right now.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of a little scary, and unfortunately, it's like every single summer, it seems like every 2 or 3 days, the phone service in certain areas just goes blank, and down for like a couple of hours to almost 2 to 3 days before it kicks back in. And then during the winter time, when we have the bad snowstorms, is when it knocks everything off. And I know a lot of issues, like there's a lot of the software out there that is allowing people to stream on multiple platforms, and I'm realizing a lot of people that are using them are having so many issues. Like my church, we were using 3 different ones, and we were having so many issues where it wasn't streaming out to all of our platforms. It was cutting people off when we were trying to talk. Half of our comments weren't coming through. We weren't able to see the comments from people or anything. We weren't even able to see who was in our stream unless somebody was sitting in the comments that was nice enough to try and go through and answer everybody.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of people, I don't know how good it is, but I'm seeing a lot of people, and even Facebook is now recommending to use it. Everybody seems like they're now using what's called, I think it's called Zoom or something like that. It begins with the Z, and everybody's using them for broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, and everything. And I'm guessing they're not having issues with it or anything. So I'm not sure what's all going on there. I do know there's some major companies being hacked right now. Like Xfinity sent me, because with me doing my press side of my business and everything, sent me a message saying that they've had several hacks done to their servers already today. And the nice thing is about them, anybody that has Xfinity customer service for their internet, home phone, or whatever, they have what's called Norton LifeLog, which they took, like the LifeLog, which is your identity protection from theft and everything, and then they took a computer software agency that will protect you against viruses, hackers, and all this stuff, and combined them together. And if anybody were to get your personal information and they found out it came off of one of their servers, they'll turn around, fight in the courts and everything to get everything back for you without you even having to be there.
That is awesome.
And I know you did mention earlier on the show when we were having trouble because we had the Facebook pages were all up, but YouTube wasn't running. And you did say your cursor was moving on your screen and you weren't touching it.
It was weird. It was just like buttons were getting pressed, and it was almost like somebody was on the page, but it just was doing its own thing. And then it locked up and I had to refresh it, and I haven't seen anything but the hang up button keeps getting pressed every time a call comes through, but I haven't seen anything else move since then.
Now that could be several different issues because like if you have multiple devices that can run the same server for like whatever you're using for your platform, like I know some of the stuff like where people, especially iPhones and Apple products, is where you get the hardest issue with this. Like if you have all of your Apple products hooked up to one server and they're all able to run that same exact software, no matter where you're at, whether you're using a desktop computer, PC, tablet, whatever, if they're all able to run that one thing and you have the app open on multiple devices, or it may be running in the background, just one touch of any issue on your phone or other device could interrupt whatever you are doing on the main one that you're using at the time. So like if I'm using my computer and I closed out my cell phone's apps and everything, but something's running in the background, I might touch a button on my phone to like go look at something else, and it could accidentally trip the platform I'm using that's off my computer, and I don't know it.
Right.
Otherwise, there could be a little issue too, where either you're moving your cursor faster than on your mouse, you're moving it faster than what the screen's actually trying to do.
Especially if it was freezing.
Or it's glitching out, and it means when they glitch out, it usually means there's either too much running on the computer at one time, or there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about doing on a computer to help speed it up, where you can, like there's a folder that you do with all this command prompt stuff. It's real easy. Anybody can do it. And it puts all your temporary files for any website you enter, anything you do on your computer goes into this folder that the average person does not know it's there. And we usually you have to go through yourself and erase all that stuff out. And I mean, it's one of the easiest things to do because if you go down to your start menu, and anybody can do it, you go down to your start menu, you type in the word RUN, run, and you hit enter. It'll pop up with a little thing, and then what you want to do is you want to hit Shift 5 because that's the percent sign, and you type in the word TEMP for temp, and then hit Shift 5 again and hit enter. There'll be almost like your document screen will pop up, and that will be full of all the temporary files on the computer that are basically there that you don't know is running in the background. You don't know what they're from, and that's slowing your computer down where you're going to have the glitches, the freezes, and for some people, the crashes. What you do is you'll hold down the shift button and you start clicking, and you can drive all the way down to where everything's lit, and you hit delete. And what it'll do is it'll feed to the system. Anything that the computer does not need itself personally for any hardware, software, or anything that the computer uses on a regular day will automatically be deleted and thrown into your recycling bin. So when you exit out of that, all you have to do is click on your recycling bin and hit empty, and it will erase all those temporary files off your computer, which should give you more speed on your computer.
That's awesome. I told you guys, Barry's like the tech guy. It's awesome.
Unfortunately, I did not know that. I found that one out from my brother.
Hey, we all got to find out from somewhere.
My brother's actually my brother's a professional black hat hacker that works with the government, so he does all kinds of stuff. And he's the one teaching me all this stuff. Later.
No, I didn't say that live. No. I do have a question. Can you kind of hold in the on standby? I'm going to try to take another call, see if this works. and then
Yes.
I will call you back if we have any issues here, and we can kind of go from there.
Yep, not a problem.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, Barry.
You're welcome anytime, Brittany.
All right, right. Okay, we're going to try to call this other caller back real fast. As you can tell, that is our volunteer tech guy. He is awesome. We're going to try this. It's going to hang
This
up,
is
I'm
a call
sure.
for Trucker Talk Live from
Terry.
to accept.
Yeah, it hung up. Hang on there, Terry. We're going to try to get to you. There we go. Let's see if we can get Terry. I bet you Terry doesn't want to answer because he's on the other line waiting to get on the air. He's like,
Your
who
call
is
has been
this
forwarded
person
to an
calling
automatic
me?
voice message system. 92898.
Okay, let's try. Cut my audio. We have a cutoff switch. Okay, let's try Terry back again. Terry is in queue. We will try to get to Terry. Are you there? Can you hear me, Terry? Uh-oh. We just lost him. Let's try this again. Let's call Terry. Calling Terry. It is ringing, ringing, ringing.
Hello.
Hey, Terry.
Hi, Brittany.
Hey, how's it going? I figured I'd just call you back because it kept hanging up on you.
Yeah, getting quite a gas out of watching the show tonight, I tell you.
It's crazy.
Hey, I'm out here in California,
Mhm.
and I just want to chime in on a couple things here that are going on out here.
Okay.
First, I wanted to make a comment on what was said earlier about how the presidential authorities are shutting down our economy and telling businesses to close.
Mhm.
People need to look at our Constitution and what the Constitution gives the president the power to do under state of emergency, and that's all he has to do, and that supersedes everything, and he can extend presidential powers to do whatever's necessary to protect the United States,
Mhm.
and that's in our Constitution.
Right.
And the other thing is our rights are not being taken away from us. They're being suppressed, but they're not being taken. Taken is to lose. We're not losing them. They're just being withheld, so to speak.
Mhm.
And it'll all return to normalcy as soon as they get a handle on what's going on. And that takes cooperation from all walks of life through mankind. You know, we just can't arbitrarily say, well, I'm not going to listen and go out and do whatever we want to do. That's not helping the situation.
Mhm.
And,
Right.
so that's what is kind of going on. And, you know, there's just so many things going on with the trucking industry. You know, your background and my background run quite a few parallels. You know, I was 15 years law enforcement. So, you know, I look at a lot of things in the same aspect as you do. So the trucking industry has changed a lot. You know, a lot of people are saying, well, the one thing that's going to help is the hours of service. Well, we need to maintain some type of to stop the chaos, because everybody says, well, if we eliminated the hours of service, we could do things in a better way. Well, that necessarily isn't true, because another YouTuber I follow quite a bit had a good look on it. And when the president came out and said, well, you know, we're going to put a stay on the hours of service, you guys can run essential product and
and not worry about your hours of service, so we could exceed that.
Mm-hmm.
And well, there's a problem with that. It's not the truckers, because I can take my load and I can run it clear across the United States nonstop. And when I get to where it needs to go, the receiver's going to tell me, well, you're not scheduled until tomorrow, so we're not going to accept you.
True. Very true.
So we need to, so what just happened was for nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to start with the shippers, and receivers have to get on the same page with the drivers.
Mm-hmm.
And I can even say, okay, you're going to dispatch me to a load that I need to get over and pick up. And I'm going to sit there and wait to be loaded for 4 hours. And I'm burning my time,
Mm-hmm.
So the shippers and receivers, it just, I think that needs to start right there and get on the same page with what the trucking needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
And because if you look back in the old days, you hear a lot of people talk about, well, we didn't have this problem before ELDs came about. Well, this is true, but also the old school truckers, they'll tell you, of course you didn't have that problem because, we were all pushing pills to drive all night long and get across the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't have that either, so we need to have some sort of controlled chaos.
Right.
So, that's just kind of where it's at as far as I see things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we all just stand together, and if you're going to stand up and yell, scream, and shout at a protest, at least have some sort of solution to offer. But don't just sit there and yell and scream about it and say, well, what do you want to do about it? Well, I don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
let's get our heads together. And like I said, as far as if people want to do a better job with the hours of service, well, let's come about some solutions to make that better. And let's start trying to get the shippers and receivers on the same page so that we can work together instead of telling me, well, you got to drive all night and not be able to do anything about it at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think there's room for a lot of improvement, but I see the same problems because I used to work for a company, and I won't say the name obviously, but it was a small mom and pop company, and they ran illegal as hell. Like they were running 2 electronic log systems under 2 different company names. Like it was so screwed up. And I was hearing almost nightly, see, at least every week, I heard of incident after incident happening where a driver ran off the road, hit something, or they fell asleep. And it was just getting ridiculous. And, the last straw for me was when somebody that I knew had a heart attack working for this company. Like they were pestering him all hours of the night. And sorry, we got to load, you got to run, and instead of losing their job, they just took the load and kept going and pushing themselves. And they ended up having a heart attack. We almost lost them. And I was like, I'm so done with this. Like, I am so done.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting at is we have to have the controlled chaos. We just can't
Mm-hmm.
have chaos. And so, what is the answer? I think the answer lies within those that have the voices, and that's us.
Absolutely.
Let's find these solutions and try to make it better, but work with what we have in the meantime. Let's just don't throw it out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I love watching your show. I've been following you for a long time. You're doing a wonderful job, and I like seeing the younger generation step up to the plate and have a voice in what's going on in America because it's their backbone.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you called, and thank you for all your service to law enforcement. Thank you for everything you've done. And I definitely see eye to eye with you because even in law enforcement, I mean, you can't have somebody going out committing crimes and then saying, well, you can't touch me. There's, I'm a free person. You have to have controlled chaos. You have to. And there's times detain somebody or to suspend Mike, echo, Jake, we will cooperate. There's times that you have to suspend somebody's rights for public safety.
Right. And that's the way I see it, that kind of hit me kind of hard. It's like, no, they haven't taken away our rights. They haven't been taken, but they have been suspended or suppressed momentarily. And I have a nephew who works for LAPD, and I was talking to his dad, my brother, and he was telling me, he's having a hard time down there because they're having to monitor the people that are out after curfew hours. And we're out in California, and it's crazy out here, as you say, crazy.
Crazy.
And but we're going through a hard time, and businesses are closed. A lot of people are off work, but yet they're violating the curfew, doing what they want to do. Trying to go out, say, to the beaches. Well, just as of this past week, our state beaches have been closed. Well, he's having to issue a $1,000 ticket for violating those rules, violating those curfews. I mean, how do you get their attention? I think $1,000 doesn't hurt somebody when you're out of a job.
Right.
But, how do you get their attention? Because you can't be going out doing what you want to do. We still have to follow the rules, whether we like it or not.
Exactly. And one of the callers earlier had mentioned how that was one of the things that changed the stores around, because a lot of stores were ignoring this. And I remember, I'm not going to say the name, but the same store, the same retail chain that is doing a tremendous job right now at making sure everybody's safe, everybody's distanced, everything's wiped down, everything's sanitized as much as can be. That was the store. That was a place that me and Jordan went into, and we were going to go in with a mask. And they said, no, you can't have a mask in here because, that's disguising your face. That was at the early beginnings of this whole thing spreading across the U.S. How, the penalties, the tickets have changed most everybody's view.
Yeah, it has. And like I said, out here in California, it's hit us pretty hard. I know other states have been hit pretty hard as well. And, I drive from California into Arizona and sometimes across into Nevada. And, just to see the operations from state to state, how it varies. In California, you can't enter a store without having a mask on. And yet I go into Nevada and they say, well, only if you want to.
Right.
Come on. Can we get on the same page? And not on the same page, but can we at least get in the same book?
Yeah, at least the same book. Let's have some basic standards here.
So I just wanted to voice my opinions on that, and hopefully have things be seen a little bit in a different light from some people, and if not, then we'll just keep doing what we're doing.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for calling. It was good talking to you.
Right, we'll get back to watching it, and you all have a blessed day.
Okay, same to you. Okay, bye. Okay, guys, hang on just a second here. We're going to go ahead and end the calls for the night. It is getting late. Getting late. How do we end the calls? Do not disturb. There we go. Let's switch this over. There we go. Okay. Sending the calls to voicemail. It was so nice to hear from so many of you tonight and to hear Jason's story. Like, that was... this one, like I said earlier, I don't want to ramble, and I won't. But I am so passionate about hearing from you guys. Hearing from you. It's just like Terry calling in from California. Terry has a different set of eyeballs. He's got a different background. He has different experiences. And when he brings that to the table, as well as we're hearing from drivers over the road who are encountering problems, and drivers who are protesting and trying to get change, and everybody has a different perspective. And when we all come together and hear from these people, it kind of gives us all eyeballs, if you know what I mean. Because if you're driving and you're looking in the rear view mirror, Echo, going down the road, you're going to have an accident because you have no forward perspective. However, if you just have forward perspective driving down the road and you're not checking those mirrors, you don't have that sight on either side, you're going to have an accident. You know, so it's so important. I see life that way. It's so important to hear from people and to learn from people. And you could completely disagree with them. Say, I think you're wrong. Here's why. I think that's great. But we need to have, we need to have that perspective. We need to have that video, that mirror, to be able to at least see what other eyes are seeing, see corners that maybe we can't initially see. Anyway, guys, we will plan to go live next Sunday night. Also, by the way, I do have a show called On Air Live that we're doing on Saturday night, 7 p.m. Central, on Brittney Richardson on YouTube. So if you're not following that and you want to, we talk about everything. And we have had some trucking discussions, but we literally talk about life, business, stories, hear from interesting people, and ask crazy questions. So go check it out. We'll be live 7 p.m. Central on Saturday nights on that platform. And then we will be live right here every Sunday night, at least in the foreseeable future, at 7 p.m. And next week, we will be spinning the wheel, I hope, and picking a winner, first and second place, for this headset. So don't forget to share. Love you guys. It's been a great show, and I will talk to you guys later. Love you guys.
You've been listening to Trucker Talk Live with Brittney Richardson. Be sure to follow her at American Truckers on YouTube and Brittney and Pink on Facebook. Until next time, be safe out there and keep it between the lines.